I need to read this anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead. Do two birds, one stone. And you don't need to know what book this is. Don't worry about it. No, this isn't the beginning of the book. Don't worry about it. This is just where I left off. 5 years went by with Pythagoras pursuing his studious initiation under the dedication of Thucydides and Thales. However, his thirst for more knowledge would not find its satisfaction. He felt that many of his questions remained imminent. Time had come for him to leave. A couple of days before his departure, on a sunny midday, he convened with Thales in the open yard of their residence. There, seated on a wooden bench, the birds twittering around, they held their last private meeting. Flowers of all kinds and scents enhanced the beauty of the cypress and olive trees that surrounded the domain. Pythagoras sighed deeply at realizing that he would miss this favorite spot of his. He glanced at his master and asked, "What is, in your opinion, the most difficult thing in life?" Thales answered without hesitation, "To know thyself." Pythagoras nodded, pensive for a while, then put forward, "What is the wisest thing, then?" "Time, son," came the calm reply of the master. "Time?" Pythagoras murmured. "Right," Thales confirmed, along with a nod of his head. "See, time in truth discovers everything, and the wisest feats a man could do in his life is to control it." "I see," Pythagoras muttered, admiring the depth of his wisdom. "It makes sense, really, and in your opinion, what could be the fastest thing in life?" It's an interesting question. "It is the spirit, for it runs in all directions, it is everywhere." There is silence for a few seconds, a time to meditate, and the most pertinent question ensued a moment later. "What is God? Who is God?" "God, my son, is what has no beginning and no end, the most ancient." The voice of his master and his answer came composed and confident. Silence prevailed again. Pythagoras waited for one of the new students at the house of Thales to serve their tea and leave before resuming his questions. "I was wondering, master, what could be the most beautiful thing in your point of view?" "The world, for sure." "The world? Why is that?" Pythagoras stared at him in puzzlement. He did not expect such an answer at all. "The world, my son, the world, for it is the work of God." "I see," Pythagoras muttered as he pondered over the statement for a while, then asked, "How about the biggest thing?" "Certainly the space, for it contains the whole." Impressed, he stared at the wise man, who glimpsed at him with a witty look. They both shared a smile of complicity, as if Thales understood what the eyes of his student conveyed and of high regard. "Go ahead, continue." "They are a few more," he warned with a grin. "I can handle them." Thales snapped in good humor. "I bet you can," Pythagoras replied and burst out laughing, joined instantly by his master. "Lulz." "Okay then. Here goes the next. What is the most powerful thing in this world?" "It is the will of necessity, because it comes always at the beginning of everything desired." "Everything desired? What do you mean by that?" Pythagoras frowned, totally confused. "There is nothing in the world that is not for man to look at, to enjoy, to feel, to grasp. Everything you see is desired, whether consciously or unconsciously, because everything in the world is beautiful, for it is the work of God." "See, life's just about touching beautiful things," Thales explained with joy in his mind. His eyes brightened. "Only by the power of will, of necessity, to have what your heart and spirit desire, that you achieve what you want." Silence reigned once more, and once again Pythagoras plunged into deep thoughts. He could not just stop now. His curiosity grew bigger and bigger at the outstanding words of his master. "What is death?" "Death is not any different from life, Pythagoras. They are the same." Thales waited apparently for the next question, but Pythagoras needed to mull over such concept of similarity. "Any more questions?" the master tempted him. "Yes, actually, just a couple more. How can people reach a point in which they can live a life of justice and respect?" Well, let's say This utopia could only be attained when we all stop doing what we blame others for. Pythagoras waited for him to sip his tea and advance his next question. What is the easiest thing? Thales chuckled then and stood up. He gazed at him with the witty sparkle in his eyes. The easiest thing, young man, is to give advice to others. And I advise you to return to Phoenicia and then head to Egypt. There you will certainly learn more about the deepest meanings of life. At that, Thales walked away without a look back. Pythagoras deemed that somehow his pace became slothful, the curve of his back more accentuated, and his hand trembled more than usual on his wand. So long, master, Pythagoras murmured, his heart aching. I shall miss you too. And so, on a night lit by a full moon, Pythagoras left Miletus, sailing to Samos, his second country. At the time, the Lydian king Croesus ruled all the towns of Asia Minor, including Samos. The great Persian king Cyrus II defeated and killed Croesus and seized all the towns under his Achaemenid Empire. History marked the time around 547 BC, when his Persian general Harpagus imposed his control on almost all the Greek Ionian towns. Consequently, the political situation in the rest of the Greek world changed in a significant way. When Pythagoras reached Samos, turmoil still prevailed. He worried that the inherent tension caused by the Persian rapid control would be an impediment to his studies. Without hesitation, he decided to follow the advice of Thales at once and pursue his quest for knowledge in Phoenicia and Egypt. Phoenicia. On the third day, he embarked on a Phoenician ship in destination to Phoenicia. The sun lowered in the horizon when the ship moved away from the isle. Standing on the deck, his hand on the rail, Pythagoras reflected on the education acquired in the past 5 years. He acknowledged that all these intellectual acquisitions constituted only a simple introduction into a world of a different nature, a world that only a few people would dare to approach. Through the previous ages, many had tried to venture into the deep secrets of knowledge and failed to persevere on that mysterious path. The reason could only be the fear that confined humans in the realm of illusion, of a world created only by their weak minds. Such limitation could only yield to them the familiar and the complacent of what their aptitude could be, simply dormant minds. On board, Pythagoras continued his meditation. The breeze wafted to him the freshness of the ocean air and its distinctive smell. Droplets of water sparkled on his face. He leant his elbows on the banister to gaze at the mysterious depths of the ocean. To know thyself was the most difficult thing in life. He remembered that answer by Thales. Man, know thyself, you will know the secrets of the universe and the gods. He recalled the words of his mother, wisdom inscribed at the temple of Apollo in Delphi. Man, know thyself, you will know the secrets of the universe and the gods, he repeated out loud. Through his diverse readings of late, Pythagoras had discovered that such wisdom first taught by Enoch Hermes Tautus, the father of wisdom, was basic to the mysteries of Egypt, Canaan, Phoenicia, India, and Babylon. Pythagoras craved to know himself as the rare initiates had done before him. However, the path towards such achievement would ensue difficult to undertake as it required from the seeker both the will and the faith. Pythagoras harbored no doubt in his mind that to reach such a marvelous goal he should fully commit himself. He admitted to himself that his previous studies in poetry, music, and cosmogony, as well as the geometry, astronomy, astrology, and theology, had revealed to him nothing more than an alluring glimpse of the reality he sought. Many questions hustled and bustled in his hungry mind, while his eyes browsed the vast sea and the ship moved forward. How does the phenomenal world function? What is the essence of the realms of consciousness and unconsciousness? How could we direct our vital energy? How could one indulge in the dimension of the spirit and the psyche? The answers to such queries, he deemed, lurked simply between the lines of his completed studies. They were riddles that could be solved. He grasped the certainty that he would have to walk the path of Chokmah, wisdom, He remained totally awakened and aware of its sagacity. He lifted his eyes to the sky and breathed in deeply with a sense of relief. Right, once I gain that infinite knowledge, once I know myself, I shall know the secrets of the gods and the universe. He smiled in defiance.